talk about how long to commence an action. When does the time run out? 20 years, Article 211 says you have 20 years to commence an action for a bond secured only by the issuer's pledge, whatever the hell that means, a money judgment, by state for real property, by grantee of state for real property, for support, alimony, and maintenance. So make sure, ladies, if he leaves you, you got 20 years to go after him.
Actions to be commenced within 10 years by anyone but the state for real property. Annulment of letters patent. To redeem from a mortgage against licensed architects, land surveyors, or landscape architects. Action to redeem from a mortgage must be commenced to redeem from a mortgage 10 years of condition of mortgage or date of recording or deed. 10 years. 10 years of breach or date of recording or deed. Action by a crime victim when the crime convicted of was specified in Executive Law 632. Added effective January 19th, 2016. Action by a victim of sex, labor, trafficking, or trafficking in persons must be commenced within 10 years, measured from when the person stopped being a victim. Action to be commenced within 7 years. A crime victim. But there had to be a conviction, and it's measured from the date of the crime, not the conviction. So new, it's not even in most people's books. I think it went into effect July of 2018. So 7 years for medical malpractice based upon the failure to diagnose a malignant tumor. That's a 7-year statute of limitations, okay?
Let me get a costume while you
All right, I'll try to be really serious. And now, here's Angela. Next is actions to be commenced within
6 years, when no limit is prescribed. No limit. No contract. A contract. Contract. 6 years. Sealed instrument. 6 years. Mistake. 6 years. Fraud. 6 years. Mortgage of real property. 6 years. Public property, 6 years. Corporation against former director, officer, or stockholder, 6 years.
There's 8 of them. Action to be commenced within 5 years for specified sex offenses. So if I go and I rape some guy tomorrow, he's got until 2023 to come after me. But that's only if there's no criminal action. If there's a criminal action, he gets even longer. No criminal action is required. 5 years. Even if I beat it at trial, he still gets 5 years to come sue me in civil court for like the specified sex offense that I committed against him. If the action was terminated, like dismissed, found not guilty, it does not matter. It's from the termination of the criminal action, or if there's no criminal action, it's measured from the date that I committed the sex offense against him. So 5 years, the date that I committed the sex offense against him. So
actions to be commenced within 4 years. Residential rent overcharge, 4 years. Rent is 4 letters, 4 years.
Start it over again. Yippee-ki-yay! Today we're going to talk about 3 years to commence an action. 3 years to commence an action is Article 214, and that's against the sheriff or an officer for non-payment of money collected upon execution. That means that he collected the money from somebody for you, but never gave it to you. Action to recover upon liability of penalty or forfeiture. Don't know what that is. Chattel. Injury to property. Personal injury. Malpractice other than medical, dental, and podiatric. And annul marriage for fraud. Annul marriage for fraud. So if he's a fraud, you can get rid of him like it never happened. 3 years.
Okay, so now I'm holding 3 things because superfund site. 1, 2, 3. That's how many years. Each of these represents a year that I have to commence my action. So this is when I've been injured as a result of something called a superfund site, which I'm guessing is like a poisonous thing. So here's my 3 years. 3 years from the designation as a superfund site. So whichever occurs last. Superfund site, 3 years, whichever occurs last. So either the other regular statute of limitations that I would have or the 3 years from the designation as a superfund site. So generally, the statute of limitations for a medical malpractice action is 2 years and 6 months. So med mal, dental, or podiatric malpractice is 2 years, 6 months. But if the action is based upon discovery of a foreign object in a patient's body, you get 1 year from the discovery. So if I'm like have surgery and then 5 years later or something, I shot a sponge and I'm like, wait, what? This is a sponge in my body? I want to sue for medical malpractice. So now I have 1 year from when I hemorrhage the sponge to sue for med mal. The other one is a brand new exception to the med mal statute. Basically once you hemorrhage the sponge and if you even think there's a chance that you want to sue for medical malpractice, you got to go because you only got 1 year to commence your action. The 2 exceptions to the med mal, again, are the 7 years for the failure to diagnose cancer and the 1 year for discovery of a foreign object in the patient's body. And if I think of anyone else or I find any other exceptions to med mal, I'll let you know.